Death itself, UI Daniel. There's a lot of mysteries when it comes to UI Daniel, like how does he knows all these martial arts? How strong is he? What is he? Is he even human? Today, let's get into how powerful he really is. When UI Daniel first appeared, he gets knocked out by both Jerry and Zach, but he still had the will to fight even when he was unconscious. So what he did was he took the will to fight into his body, which his body then began to take over. And this is where we see the monster awaken, death itself. The first thing Daniel does is completely blitz Zach, who's mainly known for his speed, and he did it so fast that Zach himself stated that he couldn't even see it coming. It being faster than the eye can see, already getting Daniel's speed to around subsonic. Daniel begins to completely destroy Jerry, the same Jerry who was stated to be strong enough to become a king, however he refused to. The same Jerry who gave Gunn a permanent scar on his chest. He was simply no match for UI Daniel, to the point where he admitted that UI Daniel's form of boxing was perfected. The next time we see UI Daniel was versus Danielpark. When he fights against Danielpark, he's losing when he's in base form, but then when he goes into UI after being brutally beat down, he simply starts to overwhelm someone like Gunn. The Gunn who stated to be superior or implied to be superior to all of the crew heads was simply afraid of someone like UI Daniel, showcasing his immense power and aura. Despite these two characters going blow for blow, Gunn was able to confirm that Daniel was using both Taekwondo and Muay Thai, showcasing that he has mixed martial arts usage. Even the teacher of Gunn, Tom Lee, deemed UI Daniel a bit dangerous just from him waking up. The same Tom Lee who's able to completely flick holes in the wall with just his index finger and create after images very casually. He's also stated to be one of the strongest characters in the series by PTJ himself. So we get it, UI Daniel is clearly someone not to be messed with. Let's get into his actual scaling now when it comes to speed, strength, durability, and all that. Then we'll also go into his skills, which we already went over 2 martial arts, which he's actually 3 martial arts that he's already mastered. Zach Lee was able to casually dodge a punch from an Olympic boxer, which gave him to around supersonic plus speed very casually because it was point blank range. And we know that Daniel scales to this simply because he was able to blitz Zach Lee to the point where he could not react or even see the attack, depending on how you interpret it. Even during this time, Zach is much faster than this. He should be superior to the likes of Kid Johan, the same Kid Johan who was able to hit thousands of rocks within a super fast time frame, getting his speed to high hypersonic plus, which is a very consistent thing within the Lookism verse, which I'm going to show further in the video. A much older Johan, which should be superior to his kid version in pretty much everything, couldn't even do anything to the likes of UI Daniel. He was getting outspeeded, overpowered, overwhelmed, whatever you want to call it, he stood no chance against him. It was to the point where he felt fear that day. It's pretty obvious that UI Daniel is way too powerful compared to Johan, which should get his speed to hypersonic to high hypersonic plus, depending on the calc you use. Either way, it should be in hypersonic ranges. Not to mention that these characters are able to casually create shockwaves like it's nothing. At least their baseline speed should be transonic. James Lee, who should be on the same level as UI Daniel, was able to block a helmet fragment coming at subsonic or higher speed very casually, which got him to around hypersonic to high hypersonic count. So yeah, hypersonic to high hypersonic plus is very consistent within the Lookism verse. You do not have to dodge any bullets to be that fast. You can simply just do it by doing quick math if you know how to pixel scale. Or you can just say he's subsonic or supersonic, I don't really care, but this is where he scales to. In Lookism, there's no such thing as not being wall level. It's either you're wall level or you're simply a background character that has never shown anything. Because every character has shown that they're able to completely put major craters into a wall very casually. We have a character like Hudson being able to pierce through a wall, or other people see it as vaporization. However you see it, getting it to wall level or potentially small building plus. We also know a character like Ji Cheng, who should logically be weaker than the likes of UI Daniel, was able to vaporize a safe. We know that it's vaporized because we can see the smoke humidity around it, and on top of that we see no pieces of the safe inside of the safe, which would mean that this would have to be vaporization from a visual standpoint, casually getting UI Daniel to small building level. Not to mention that some of the shockwave feats have been count to building level. If you don't think Lookism is building level, I mean sure, however, there's a lot of more feats getting them to at least small building level in terms of calcs. And no, you do not have to destroy a small building or a building to be that level. All you gotta do is produce the amount of joules or energy needed to do that. So since we established that Lookism is at least around small building to building level, hypersonic to high hypersonic plus, we could get into the skills of Danielpark. The main thing about Danielpark is the fact that he can copy stuff, and when he copies it, he perfects it. He's able to copy stuff like CQC, one of the best techniques in the series. He's able to copy other martial arts and perfect them. And on top of that, he was able to even copy Gabrion's Kim technique very casually. Not to mention that Daniel can copy techniques and apply them, making his own techniques, making his copying ability on another level than people we see like Johan. Even someone like Gunn believed that Daniel was nothing but perfection when he sensed the power inside of him. Danielpark also has stuff like Sistema, Kyokushin Karate, and even wrestling. He likely has mastered every martial art, however, we haven't really seen him use all of the martial arts. But these are like the confirmed martial arts that we have, those I listed earlier and those now. Danielpark is truly a monster of perfection. But how does this fare up against Peter from Killer Pietro? Well, that's something we're going to have to figure out on another video.